Hello everyone, you're watching Vocabulary and Reading 4. Today we're going to study Unit 15. 大家好，欢迎收看智慧阅读4。今天我们要讲的是第15课。And here with me is a wonderful friend, Dr. Jane Louise.
I feel like I'm doing the program together with you. It's an honor.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
In Unit 14, we have discussed health and also healthy eating. We learned that by eating well and living a healthy life, we can prevent many diseases. It is actually very simple and costs very little to keep healthy. 在前一课呢，我们谈到简单又有效维持健康的方法。那在第15课，我们要来谈谈怎么样轻松、开开心心的过生活。Jane, do you have a feeling that modern people are just too busy? They live just in a fast-paced life.
Silence is so rare nowadays, right? Yeah, it seems like people, no matter what they do, it's not enough. And they just keep wanting to do more and be more efficient. So slowing down is a real skill.
Yeah, I know. But I bet employers won't like to hear that.
Well, here's the secret, is when people are slower, they often are more creative, they have more energy, and they see things more clearly.
I know. They may actually work better.
Very likely.
Yeah. 那我们现在的人呢，过的生活呢，其实都非常的紧张哦，总觉得事情要做快一点，快一点才是比较有效率哦。那但事实上呢，有时候我们轻松一下，可能工作效率会更高一点，但是雇主可能不会同意。好，我们先来看一看一些相关的单字。Let's take a look at some keywords.
Irony.
名词讽刺。
His apology was mixed with irony.
他的抱歉呢，带着讽刺。那这个字我们也常会用到形容词，就是 ironic. Next.
Obsess.
动词使着迷。
Brad Pitt is obsessed with photography. He has spent much time studying the camera.
布莱德比特呢，非常喜欢摄影，他花了不少时间呢研究相机。
Attempt.
动词试图尝试。
The cabinet attempted to cut income tax, and they did.
内阁呢计划要降低所得税，而且他们还实际上做到了。
Essence.
名词要素或是精华。
The essence of this book is that we should learn from our opponents.
这本书的主旨是让我们从对手身上学习。对手、敌人就是 opponent。
Thrill.
动词兴奋。
He is thrilled by the new action movie coming in summer.
他因为那部即将在暑假上映的新动作片呢而兴奋不已。动作片呢，我们是说 action movie。
Sacrifice.
动词或是名词，牺牲或是祭品。
Parents often make sacrifices for their children.
父母亲呢常为孩子们牺牲。
Ponder.
动词仔细考虑、回想或思考。
Experts ponder the use of technology to save our planet.
专家仔细思考如何运用科技来拯救我们的地球。
Movement.
名词运动或者是动作。
They campaigned for the movement to ban smoking in public.
他们发起一项禁止在公共场所抽烟的运动。Campaign 是宣传或是发起的意思。
Originate.
动词发源、引起。
The use of paper originated in China.
纸的使用呢是起源于中国。
Solution.
名词解决方法或是办法。
The solution of the problem requires more money.
问题解决之道呢需要更多的钱。
Workaholic.
名词工作狂。
A workaholic is a person dedicated obsessively to their work.
工作狂是非常沉迷于工作的人。我们刚刚有提到 obsess 这个字就是沉迷、喜好，就是那在这边呢 obsessively 是沉迷的。好，看完了单字 let's take a look at our first paragraph. Jane, could you read paragraph 1 for us?
Sure. We seem to live in a fast-paced world where everything is crammed into a very limited time span. We seem to have to race against the clock to get things done. In Karl Honore's talk on slowing down in a world built for speed, he found that many people are searching for ways to slow down from the increasingly busy world. But the irony is that they want to slow down in a speedy way.
这一段讲的呢，我们是处于一个非常快节奏的世界当中哦，好比生活每件事情呢，都压缩在一个短短的时间的框架当中，似乎我们大家都忙着跟时间在赛跑哦。在卡尔汉诺《忙碌的世界》中放慢脚步的演讲里，他指出呢，很多人在忙碌的生活里呢，拼命寻找一个可以放慢脚步的方法，可是很讽刺的呢，他们往往在寻找是用最快的方法能够轻松下来。About this paragraph, yes.
Okay, so let me see a good one. Okay, so we have Carl Honore. He wrote this book. What does he say people do to slow down?
It's ironic. People want to slow down, but they want to slow down in a speedy way.
They can never learn, right? Let's see. Any other questions? No, that's probably enough.
OK， 大家希望放慢脚步下来哦，可是又希望能尽快的能够过得轻松一点哦，慢下来。好，我们看看单字。Cram 可以当动词或名词，是把什么塞满。那我们讲史记或者是填鸭式的教学，也可以用 cram 这个字。
60 students were crammed into the classroom.
60个学生把教室塞得满满的。Cram 这个字呢，我们台湾有非常多的那个补习班哦，补习班我们就叫 cram school。
Time span
是一个名词片语，是指一段时间。
The student completed college in a short time span.
这学生呢，在很短的时间内，那个完成了大学。
Speedy. Whoops, are we going to say some other spans? How about attention span?
Attention span 是指注意力集中，那 concentration span 也是指注意力的集中度。
Speedy.
形容词迅速的。The sentence.
The government pushed speedy action on the financial plan.
政府积极的推动呢金融计划的行动。Financial plan 就是金融的计划。Now let's move on to paragraph 2. Can you read it for us?
Sure. In today's world, we are obsessed with speed. We even attempt to make things better by speeding things up. In the past, we dialed numbers on our telephones. Now we speed dial. We read, and now we speed read. We dated, and now we speed date. We walked, and now we speed walk. Even things with a slow nature, we speed them up. Like yoga. It is supposed to be done in the form of slowness and relaxation, but some people have created speed yoga.
这一段讲到呢，在今天这个世界里面，人们喜欢追求速度哦，我们试图很快的要做好每一件事情，感觉上我们这样做的比较有效率。那过去呢，我们利用电话按钮来拨电话，可是现在我们就用快速拨号。以前呢，我们阅读东西呢，但今天又讲求速读。过去我们轻轻松松的约会，可是现在就是来一个急速约会。过去我们散步，现在就流行快走。像有一些是具有轻松缓慢特性的事物呢，可是我们却要加快脚步来完成它。譬如说瑜伽呢，理当是要轻松缓慢的，可是现在呢，却很时兴、很流行要做快速瑜伽。How about some comprehension questions
for
this paragraph?
This paragraph has a lot of things, examples of things that we're speeding up nowadays. What are some of those?
Right. Before, people dialed the telephone, but now people speed dial.
Speed dial.
Before, people read, now they speed read.
Speed read.
People take a walk, but now they speed walk.
Speed walk.
And even for yoga, people do speed yoga now.
Speed yoga, yeah.
Okay, a couple more vocabulary. 我们来再看2个单字。
Speed date
是急速约会、闪电约会。
Nature
名词，自然本质或者是一种种类。
The nature of metal is different from that of plastic.
金属的本质跟塑胶是不同。Metal 是指金属 ，plastic 是塑胶。好，看完这么多课文跟单词 ，Let's take a break. We'll be back. In the previous paragraph, we will talk about speeding things up. People speed read, people speed walk, and these are sort of concepts we're already familiar with. but speed dating, that's something that's quite new, isn't it? Have you heard of speed dating before, Jane?
Only once. I saw a video that showed me what speed dating was. Amazing.
I actually saw a movie, Hitch. It has speed dating. So that's how I learned about speed dating.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. What is speed dating? Speed dating, 我们讲是一种急速约会哦。那什么是 speed dating 呢？Speed dating happens. It's a dating event where a single man and women they sit down and change seats to talk to different people for a few minutes each time, and then so these people can meet a lot of people at a very short period of time. And then perhaps from these people, they can find someone they can start a relationship with, or even someone they can marry to. Do you think this is a good way to meet people,
I don't
speed dating?
know. It's a kind of a game, I guess. It's like someone has a stopwatch and they go, okay, everyone, ready, set, go. And then you have time to talk. So I think it's a stimulating idea. I wonder who came up with this idea.
Yeah, it's interesting. And
it could be fun.
Very fast. 这闪电约会或者急速约会哦，如果同学不太清楚哦，其实就是一群单身女子跟男子呢坐下来，然后在很短的时间内呢一起聊天，然后可能过1-2分钟之后呢，他们就换位置，就跟下一个人呢不同的人再继续聊，所以在很短的时间内可以跟很多人聊到天。那再从当中呢，看看有没有可能自己比较聊得来，或者是喜欢的人，那也许就可以继续约会。This paragraph also mentioned yoga. Jane, I know you practice yoga, don't you?
Yes.
Could you show us some simple way of yoga that can just help us relax?
Relax. Okay, I love this. I'm happy to do that. People often say they don't have time for exercise, and
That's
I say
right.
there's so many things you can do in 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. So I'd like to show you a breathing exercise. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
So
That's
all
great.
we do is we breathe, and I'll tell you how. We breathe in a special way.
Okay.
So it's like this. First, you exhale all your air until it's empty, and we hold it empty for the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to take a big breath in full all the way to the top and count it. Hold it for the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll exhale again all the way, and we hold it for the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And the important thing is the air is all the way out or all the way in, and we hold it for the same amount of time. Can we try that together?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. So first all the way out.
先吐气。
1, 2, 3. All the way in.
吸气。
All the way to the top, and then hold it for the same amount of time.
闭气。
3. All right. And then out again. Exhale.
然后再吐气。
Hold it the same amount of time. 1, 2, 3. And inhale all the way.
再吸气。
For the same amount of time. 1, 2, 3.
再吐气。
Now, if we keep doing this for 5 minutes, Shuqing, all of our anxiety will just melt away. It's amazing.
That's great. I feel great already.
Already? Good.
Very relaxed.
Anyone can try this. It's easy
That's
to do.
great. 所以只要5分钟，简单一个吸气、闭气、吐气的这样的一个运动呢，就可以把你的烦恼通通忘光光哦，让你全身能够很舒畅、很relaxed. So are we relaxed enough to move on to paragraph 3?
Let's move on to paragraph 3. All right, shall I read?
我们请看第3段。
In fast-paced living, we often overlook that this rushing effect may be damaging our health, our diet, our relationships, our community, and even our environment. It may take our ruined health or broken relationships for us to realize that we live a fast life, but we ignore the important essence of our life. We live, but we are not living. To Honore, this wake-up call came as he was reading bedtime stories to his son. Honore tended to speed read and skip pages to get out of reading the story as soon as he could, which often spoiled the quality moments shared by him and his son. It was always his speed against the slowness required by his son. One day, Honoré read an article about time-saving tips. One suggestion was 1-minute bedtime stories. At first glance, he was thrilled, but soon he sat back and he thought really hard if he wanted to sacrifice the precious time with his son. Then he began to ponder why we rush through our lives.
这一段讲到呢，在快节奏脚步的一个生活里面，我们往往呢就是忽略到，就是太匆忙了，就会忽略到我们的健康、饮食、人际关系、社区跟生活环境所造成的一些，因此造成一些不良的影响啊。所以可能要等到我们失去了健康或人际关系，才会了解到我们因为日子过得太匆忙而忽略到生命中最重要的东西。我们活着呢，却不会过日子啊！我非常喜欢这一句，就是 "We live, but we're not living." 对卡尔汉默来说呢，他的警讯是出现在儿子读床边故事的时候。每一次读故事的时候呢，汉默总是用最快的速度把它读完，而且呢还会跳页的读。那这么做呢，却让他跟他孩子相处的时光呢大打了折扣。他的儿子喜欢慢慢的听故事，可是呢汉默就是想匆匆带过去啊，赶快上床睡觉。有一天呢，他读到一篇有关于能够节省时间的一个文章哦，那作者就有推荐一些1分钟的床边故事。猛然一看呢，他觉得这个建议非常有趣。可是当他仔细思考一下，就觉得说，他是不是真的要牺牲自己跟儿子相处的时光呢？开始内心存疑哦，所以他开始思考为什么人总是要匆匆忙忙过日子。Okay, some questions about this paragraph.
Some questions. Okay, let's say we're rushing through our life. What are some things that might be damaged because of this?
If we're rushing, we may damage our health, we may damage our relationship with our family and friends, we may damage our society, community, or environment.
Environment, yes. Good. Another question. So this is Carl Honoré who did this. He used to read bedtime stories to his son. How did he do that?
He used to rush through it at the beginning.
Rush.
Right, and even skip pages.
Good. Well, I say good. That means that's what the paragraph said. So what is it that made Carl stop and change his thinking?
He read an article about saving time, and he read about this 1-minute bedtime stories, and he began to think whether he wanted to sacrifice this time, precious time with his son, and he began to think why people rush through things.
So that got his attention.
Right.
Great.
Okay, how about some vocabulary from this paragraph? 看一下这一段其他单字。
Rushing.
形容词，急忙的、匆促的。
We should refrain from rushing to judgment before we have better knowledge of the subject.
我们对一件事情还没有更多的认识之前，不应该妄下定论。
Ignore.
动词，忽视。
His unreasonable request was ignored by the teacher.
他无理的要求呢，不被老师理睬。
Skip.
动词，漏掉或是很迅速的翻越。
She skipped breakfast this morning because she had a blood test.
她为了验血呢，所以没有吃早餐。
Spoil.
动词，糟蹋或是宠坏。
High prices spoil many people's vacation plans.
高额的价格破坏许多人的假期计划。
Glance.
名词或是动词，扫视或是瞥见。
At first glance, the problem appears to be quite simple.
猛一看呢，这个问题呢，看似简单。Okay, after the vocabulary, I think we're ready to take a break. Relax.
Good, relax a moment.
Be right back. It's good to have you back. Now let's read paragraph 4. 我们请看第4段。
He thought that the reason we live our lives so fast is a result of our concept of time. Time is linear. If we don't use the time, it will not return. Since our time is limited, we try to speed up. There seems to be a belief that faster is better and busier is the best. On the contrary, the opposite is true. So, is it possible to break out from this mindset that faster is better? There seems to be slow movements catching on in some parts of the world. Italy originated the slow food movement and the slow city movement, so that people can take time savoring food and life. People started to realize that they actually live better, eat better, and feel better as they slow down.
Yeah, this paragraph talk about how we live our life so fast. It's all because of our concept of time. 我们这一段呢，所讲到就是为什么生活步调会这么快速，是因为我们对时间的一个观念。因为时间呢是一个线性的，如果我们不把握的话呢，稍纵即逝。正因为时间有限呢，所以我们必须要加快速度哦。那一般人总觉得忙碌快速就是好的，那相反的呢，就是比较不好啊。那我们有可能从这种思维跳脱出来吗？在世界上呢，有正往这种倡导热活的一种概念哦，正在发展当中啊。的意大利首先开始慢食运动，还有轻松的城市的步调呢，让人们可以慢慢品味食物跟人生。放慢脚步之后呢，人们逐渐发现他们的日子可以过得更精彩、更有风味，而且精神更好啊。Questions for this paragraph.
Okay, how about one? So Karl Honoré, he found a reason why people live so fast. What is that reason?
It's because of our concept of time, because people think that time is linear. If we don't grasp the time, grasp the moment, and it's going to slip away.
And why are the slow food and slow city movements catching on?
It's because people can take time, finally enjoy their food and enjoy their life.
So they discover that it's enjoyable.
That's right. Okay, let's take a look at some vocabulary from the paragraph. 看一下这一段其他单字。
Linear.
名词，直线的。
The profit is going up in a linear fashion.
利润以直线的趋势攀升。
Opposite.
形容词，对立的，对面的。
They often have opposite opinions.
他们经常呢意见相左。
Mindset.
名词，心态、倾向。
Rich people have a different mindset about money.
有钱人呢对金钱是有不同的心态。
Catch on.
流行。
This song is catching on.
这首歌呢正渐渐的流行。
Savor.
可以当动词也可以当名词，欣赏、品尝的意思。
The girls savored the rich chocolate.
这女孩呢品尝浓郁的巧克力。好 now let's move on to paragraph 5.
Countries like Norway, Finland, and Denmark are ranked in the top 6 in terms of competitive economy, but they work fewer hours compared to other competitive countries. Today, not only adults, but also children overwork. Fortunately, some schools and educators advocate less is more. Why is it difficult to slow down? People associate slowness with laziness and stupidity. But the thing is that some slowness is actually good, like taking the time to spend with the family or to ponder a solution. Although Honoré still likes speed in some things he does, he refuses to be a workaholic. He now takes time to leisurely read bedtime stories and finds the time rewarding.
这段讲到呢，其实在经济很竞争当中呢，排名前6名的国家有挪威、芬兰跟丹麦，但是这些国家的工时其实比竞争力强的国家少了许多。那所以现在就是越来越多的学校是教育人员呢，觉得说应该要把工作减量，其实减量工作呢获得反而更多。那我们为什么很难放慢角度呢？就是因为我们常把慢跟懒惰、愚蠢做一个联想啊，但实际上轻松缓慢呢才比较好，因为我们有机会可以跟家人相处，思考问题的解决之道。那其实这样子呢，才会生活或是精神更好啊。Now, questions for this paragraph.
Okay. What are some countries that don't have long working hours, but they're very competitive?
Norway, Denmark, and Finland.
Yeah, lovely. Why, in this paragraph, what did they say is the reason it's hard to slow down?
Because people often associate slow with stupid or lazy. Okay, now let's take a look at some other vocabulary. 我们看一下其他单字。
Advocate.
名词或动词主张。
He advocates saving wild animals.
他主张保育野生动物。
Laziness.
怠惰徐缓。
The employee lost his job because of laziness.
那员工因为怠惰而失去了工作。
Stupidity.
名词愚蠢。
The mistake he made was plain stupidity.
他犯下的错误纯粹是愚蠢的关系。
Rewarding.
形容词有益的，值得的。
Teaching children to learn is a rewarding experience.
All right. Now, after the vocabulary, now let's take a look at VCR. It's an interview about a professor, how she spends her time.
Great.
Hey there, this is Lai Long Chang. Guess where I am? I'm at the National Taiwan College of Technology. And I'll be interviewing these nighttime students about the issues on slow life living. So let's go. Hey there, we have the honor to have a professor teaching at the National Taiwan University of Science and Technology here to have an interview with me. This is Professor Alicia Lloyd. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes.
Well, I've been in Taiwan for 35 years. I've been away from the States for a long time. But I think that probably the big cities in the United States are like Taipei, being very fast-paced.
Are you a city person?
Well, because I've been living in Taipei for so long, I've become a city person. I grew up out in the country, in a small town.
Oh, like in a suburb or something like that. Which state?
In New York State, but not near New York City.
So what about leisure? Is there time for you to, do stuff you want? Like what gets you through the night?
Well, for the last couple of years, it's been a little bit difficult that I haven't had that much time for leisure because the international office is a new office in our university.
Mm-hmm.
But now that things are settling more into a groove, I've been able to have more leisure time, say on the weekends. Mm-hmm. But sometimes my school has a lot of activities on the weekend, like in the month of March. So. But that's just part of working in a school. It's part of working in a school.
Is there really anything that you really want to do but never had the time or chance to do? Like when you really think about it, like stuff you always wanted to do but never had the time or the chance to do.
Well, there are a lot of books I'd like to read that I haven't had a chance to read. And also, I would like to have more time to do some research too.
No time at all to squeeze in those times to read DVDs into your schedule.
Not during the school year. During winter and summer vacation, there's more time.
Well,
Though even because I'm doing administrative work during winter and summer vacation, I still have to come to school, but I don't have class. So
I see.
So there's more time.
Well then, thank you so much for this interview, Professor Lucy.
Well, thank you for coming to visit me.
From the interview, we found that Professor Lloyd, just like the other teachers and probably other people too, have very busy life, a very busy schedule. It's hard to find time to relax and do something that we want to do.
But she was so relaxed while she was talking.
I know, but I bet that she has millions of things ahead of her, millions of things on her shoulders. 下一课我们会谈到世界有可能会被毁灭哦。Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Okay.